Some people say that there is a rape culture in rich Western countries in the modern day, but I believe that there is actually a rape hysteria culture or a rape paranoia culture. And this culture, this paranoia, is encouraged by academics, feminists, the government, the media, the police, politicians. So what happens is, instead of there being a rape culture in colleges, there's a rape hysteria culture. And a lot of these college-aged women or women who go to college have a paranoia about creepy men in trench coats jumping out of alleys to rape them, or jumping out of trees, or jumping out of bushes with butcher knives and handcuffs and masks on or whatever. So what happens is, if a creepy guy asks these women for the time of day or asks them for directions, they'll pepper spray him and call 911. And then after that, they'll go to a party at the frat house with the football team, drink alcohol until they black out, and then get gangbanged by all the players at the party while they're passed out. And the next weekend, they'll probably go back and do the same thing all over again. Now, some people say that you shouldn't tell women. See, one of the disservices that the society does in terms of women is that they don't tell them that there's certain things they could do to reduce their risk of being sexually assaulted, because anybody who says that will get attacked and accused of being victimizing the victim, blaming the victim, because they don't even give accurate information. So, for example, there was a police officer in Toronto a few years ago who told women that if they didn't want to get raped, they should stop dressing like sluts. And that's false information, because women don't get raped based on how they dress, because a woman could walk around on the street half naked all day and men won't touch her. I've personally seen women walking down the street. I saw a woman walking down the street a few years ago. I remember she was walking down one of the main streets in the city, and she had on some pants that were basically see-through, so you could see her underwear. Now, I was looking at her, and then I turned my head and looked down on the street. There were a whole bunch of other guys just on the street, just looking at it. So it was kind of funny, because all the guys on the street were just looking. Anyway, so but none of those men touched the young woman, or did anything to her. And so it really doesn't matter. Women could actually women could show their breasts, flash their breasts, like those feminine women or whatever they're called, that flash their breasts in public. Women could walk around naked in public, and men won't touch them. And the reason that is because obviously a rapist is not going to commit a crime in public in front of a whole bunch of witnesses. But if a woman is in a situation where she's by herself with a man or with some men, and there's nobody else around, then she's going to be more at risk of being sexually assaulted. And particularly if she's inebriated, if she's passed out, then she's at a higher risk of being sexually assaulted. So if she's at a party, she's in a hotel room, and she's passed out from alcohol or drugs or whatever the case may be, then those are the times when women tend to get sexually assaulted. It isn't the woman who's walking around on the street in public with tight clothes on, she's gonna get, a woman walking around in tight clothes on the street is probably gonna get stared at. She may get some comments, but she's probably not going to be sexually assaulted, because men know that, everybody knows that, if people were to witness a woman being sexually assaulted in public, on the street, on a busy street, or in a mall or something, there's going to be a response. People are going to intervene. So people are not just going to let that go. But if the woman is at a party, or she's by herself with a guy, or with a group of guys, then they could get away with that. So they should tell women not to put themselves in compromising situations, not to drink excessive alcohol and black out, or take drugs and black out, and then be around men that they can't trust. And some people say that is blaming the victim, but that's just common sense. Because for example, you could say the same thing in a lot of different situations. A person can take measures to reduce their chances of being victims of a crime, and that's not blaming the victim. That's just telling people the truth, telling people to exercise common sense and precautions. So, for example, if a heterosexual, let's say a heterosexual college-aged young man, maybe a heterosexual young man may not want to go to a gay bathhouse orgy party and drink excessive alcohol and black out, or take drugs and take sleeping pills and pass out with his butt up in the air and his pants down, because something might happen. It's not guaranteed that he may get sodomized or sexually assaulted by the gays, but it may happen. Same thing goes for the women. If a woman gets drunk and passes out in a room full of guys, or with one guy, she may get sexually assaulted. It may happen. And the same thing goes. Let's say a guy goes to let's say a tourist goes to Mexico and he goes to a poor neighborhood, goes to the barrio, and waves around a big stack of $100 bills and speaks loudly in English and lets everybody know he's a rich foreigner with money. He may get robbed. He may get pickpocketed. If he has $100 bills hanging out of his pocket, people may go and try to take it out of his pocket. It may happen. That's not blaming the victim, but it's just telling the person to use common sense. If somebody leaves a nice car in a poor neighborhood in the United States or in Canada, and with the door wide open, the car may get stolen. That's not blaming the victim. Anyway, so you get the point. Instead of promoting this rape hysteria type of stuff, maybe they should just tell women to exercise some type of caution, instead of having this whole hysteria, foolishness, where they're scared that men are just jumping out of trees, jumping out of bushes, and just with butcher knives and masks on, and breaking into their houses and stuff to rape them, when in reality most of these women, or most women who are being sexually assaulted or raped, if it really happens, it's going to be, a lot of times it's going to be women who are passed out or incapacitated or drunk and blacked out in parties, or in so who are in those types of situations. So all they have to do is not put themselves in that type of situation, and their risk of being raped or sexually assaulted will drop by a very significant percentage.